Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in USL League One. We'll take you through the week that was, take you through a very, very busy week that will be, midweek action and weekend action, to get everybody back online when it comes to the early season work here as we get close to the 1/3 mark of the season in USL League One. But before we go forward, we always have to go backward and get you set up and squared away with how things stand and how things went in the previous weekend. Wasting no time. Match of the week from Paladin Stadium, a big rivalry match inside USL League One. Greenville Triumph, Richmond Kickers. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at USL League One, ESPN Plus, and YouTube.
Finally got his first League One goal. Off that nice free kick of the season, that is, obviously. Golden Boot man.
And we are underway here between the Kickers and the Greenville Triumph from Paladin Stadium. We'll have his whistle waiting for the go-ahead. It'll be Coutinho. Coutinho rifles it! It's excellently placed! And this hot streak from Lucas Coutinho continues.
John Harkes will be ecstatic. He talked about how his team must do better on set pieces. And what a start there from the first free kick. Fitzgerald saw it. It was so well hit. I think Fitzgerald may have just leaned slightly to his right. You expect the right-footed kicker to try and curl it, right? And he just went inside that far post, saw a gap, and beat Fitzgerald inside his far post.
Tyler Polak. He floats this one in, and it's gobbled down and finds its way through. And Greenville double the advantage. And I think that's Brandon Fricke in his first start of the season.
Let's take another look at it here. There's a big man to go through Nathan Orney. Perhaps a slight foul from Tevin Shaw. There wasn't huge remonstrations, a little bit. Well, the collision with Shaw was certainly, it wasn't with Fitzgerald, it was with Orney, but it was certainly could have been a called a foul on its own. But Brandon Fricke won't care. He was there to clean up, and it's 2-0 Greenville. And there's no doubt about that, as well as Neil Vignal's out tonight, their most creative midfielder. For a third straight game.
This one back inside! The flag goes up, though. And just like that, though, that's the kind of thing Terzaghi can do.
Yeah. Around Terzaghi. Floating around the 6-yard box there. Yes. At least half a yard offside, but what a finish.
Hornsby with a good ball forward for Belmar. Belmar back centrally! And that one's blasted into the roof. Richmond win one back.
Nathan Horney, the center back, just finding himself at the penalty spot. Suko slips it through, pull back by Belmar, and nobody within a couple of yards of Nathan Horney. That's a composed finish for a center back for sure.
Collected forward, Suko with the ball now. Plays it out wide to Gordon. Gordon enters the 18 and gets a deflection, and it almost goes in, and then it does! A second effort and a second goal for the Richmond Kickers. We are all tied up at 2 apiece.
Luke Pavone off the bench at the death in the last game, but not on this one. Great work down the left here. It's a cross that perhaps shouldn't have got through. He got a little slight deflection, and that threw off. And you won't find an easier finish for Luke Pavone. See if you can see the little deflection here that may have just thrown things off a little bit with Fricke.
Not sure if Bentley made any contact with it there, but Bentley's work caused the mistake from Fricke. And the final whistle sounds, and it'll be a point share between the two at Paladin Stadium. 2 goals in the first half for the Triumph, 2 goals in the second half for the Kickers.
2-2 draw, honors even. Greenville gets the first 2. Richmond comes back, gets the draw by the time they were done on the campus of Furman University. Lexington SC gets the big win over Charlotte Independence at Toyota Stadium by the score of 1-0. Forward Madison on the road at WakeMed gets a 2-0 win. And One Knox at Regal loses to Northern Colorado Hailstorm by the score of 2-1. So that sets up what's going on in the standings as we get ready for a very, very busy handful of days here. After 8 matches, North Carolina FC still on top at 16 points, ahead of Charlotte Independence, 13 points in 9 matches. South Georgia Tormenta, they've played 8. They are at 12. 3 teams at 10. It is Greenville, Forward Madison, and the Richmond Kickers. Greenville has more wins than Forward Madison and Richmond. Forward Madison's ahead of Richmond on goal difference. That would be your playoffs if they were to start right now. Below the playoff bar in 7th, Union Omaha at 9 points. Northern Colorado Hailstorm ahead on goal difference of 1 Knox. Northern Colorado has also played only 5 matches compared to 7 for the expansion team in Tennessee. Chattanooga Red Wolves 7 points through 10. They are in 10th through 6 matches. Lex SC is at 7 points through 7 matches. They're next to last. And Central Valley Fuego 1-5-1 out of the blocks. Rough start for them, and they have lost 4 in a row heading into this weekend. 1-5-1, 7 matches played, and 4 points. So that sets up how things are right now with the standings in USL League One. Also on the board, Player of the Month for the month of April, no real surprise, presented by our friends at Konami eFootball. Rafa Mensingen, 5 goals, the most in a single month by a midfielder in league history. So Rafa Mensingen, after being in Chattanooga last year, he is now in North Carolina this year in Cary. North Carolina FC, an unbeaten April, 4-0-1, a pair of match-winning goals to go along with 35 duels won, 13 dribbles completed, and a league-leading 11 shots on target. Rafa Mensingen, Player of the Month for the month of April, brought to us by our friends at Konami eFootball. Also on the board, Charlotte Independence have added Lucas Sawinski on loan from FC Tulsa. And Sawinski was the 18-year-old. He became the youngest professional signing in FC Tulsa history last year at the age of 17. It's for the remainder of the 2023 season. Sawinski started 4 matches for Tulsa last year, had the second hat trick in club history and just his second career start. And so now he gets to go to Charlotte from FC Tulsa, and we'll see how Mike Jeffries wants to integrate the young midfielder, Lucas Sawinski, who's on loan from Tulsa for FC Tulsa in USL Championship for the remainder of the 23 season. Made his professional debut back against Detroit City in September of 2022. He got the hat trick against Indy 11 as a part of a 4-2 win. Signed on in July of 2022, youngest player ever to sign a contract in club history. The Carlsbad, California native joined the Barca Residency Academy back in 2019 at the age of 15. Earned his way to their U19 side in 22, helped the team win their second consecutive MLS Next Southwest Division title, 15 goals, 5 assists in 20 appearances. So Lucas Sawinski is going from Tulsa in the championship to Charlotte in League One. A cool piece of news, Forward Madison's going to host Liga de Expansión MX side Atlante FC. Now that's going to be a really cool moment. July 20th, 8 o'clock, with Atlante going to Breeze Stevens, the two organizations' first ever match against one another, the 4th time that Forward Madison is going to face a second division opponent out of Mexico. So 2023 friendly between Madison and Atlante continues their commitment to playing an international friendly every year, hosting Mexican side Pumas Tabasco at Breeze Stevens in 2022. Prior to that, hosting Leones Negros and Club Atlético Morelia in Madison. And you can get tickets if you're interested and you're going to be there on July 20th. You can go to forwardmadisonfc.com, click on the links, or give them a buzz at 608-204-0855. So that's where things stand with Forward Madison and Atlante. North Carolina FC legends are going to compete in the soccer tournament. Dewan Bader is going to lead Austin Deleuze, Nazmi Al-Badawi, Nick Platter, and former NCFC stars in that 7-on-7 tournament. Remember, this is the winner-take-all $1 million tournament, coached by Dewan Bader, the former Railhawks and NCFC assistant. And you've got the other players, the rest of that roster, they're going to be announced through the coming weeks as they get closer to the tournament. But Deleuze, Al-Badawi, Nick Platter, coached by Dewan Bader, as they're heading into one of 32 teams in that World Cup format. Action begins on June 1st, culminates June 4th with the $1 million championship game. So some very cool stuff from folks who are really tight with action with North Carolina FC. Reminder, be a part of the process with USL League One when it comes to their social media on Twitter, Facebook, and on Instagram. So hang out with them and find out all the information that you can all the way through the season here in USL League One. So with Match of the Week out of the way, Player of the Month out of the way, you've also got to keep an eye on your Goal of the Week, Player of the Week. You can do that by clicking on USLLeagueONE.com and keeping up to date with everything going on that you, the fan, can vote on a weekly basis. And also a very, very cool feature at USLLeagueOne.com. They catch up with Pablo Jara, who is achieving his dreams. Very, very cool story. And he has been one of the OGs for South Georgia Tormenta, and it's been great to see him grow and what his goals are, not just on the field but off. And so there's a good read at USLLeagueOne.com where they catch up with South Georgia Tormenta keeper Pablo Jara. Getting into the weekend and getting into the week, really, because there's action in the midweek and it is all the way through the week. Very, very busy week. So Tuesday at Regal Soccer Stadium. After the 2-1 loss to Northern Colorado Hailstorm on Saturday, quick return for Juan Knox as they host Chattanooga Red Wolves in the Volunteer Derby. Wednesday at WakeMed at 7 o'clock, Richmond Kickers, North Carolina FC. Thursday at Breeze Stevens at 8, Hailstorm and Forward Madison. And then turning around and having 5 matches on the weekend. 7 o'clock in Greenville on Saturday. Greenville Triumph hosting Juan Knox. It's a very, very busy week for Juan Knox. 3 matches in a week's time. City Stadium at 7 o'clock, Richmond hosting Lex SC. 7:30, CHI Memorial, Chattanooga Red Wolves and Union Omaha. 10 o'clock at Fresno State's Soccer Stadium, Central Valley Fuego hosting South Georgia Tormenta. And Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock at American Legion, it is Charlotte Independence and North Carolina FC for the Tar Heel Derby. So we catch up with Charlotte and North Carolina. You've got Chattanooga and you've got Union Omaha. And so there's a lot going on this week with derbies across the board, the Volunteer Derby on Tuesday, and you end up with the Tar Heel Derby on Sunday here in USL League One. If you are in market, there's a lot of chances to do it. Counting up quickly, 8 matches this week. If you can be at any one of those 8 matches and see what's going on at USL League One, please do. Quality competition, one of the toughest leagues in all the United States on a yearly basis. So if you can go catch a match, please do. If you are in market and cannot, follow along on your local providers. And if you are out of market and want to follow along what's going on in USL League One, you can do so however you access ESPN Plus and the local providers. And you can keep track with everything going on in USL League One on a weekly basis. So for everybody here at SDH, that is the story for USL League One. Very, very busy week, very, very crowded table. What else is new? Great competition at USL League One. So play it safe, everybody. Enjoy the matches in USL League One for another week.
There can be only one!